Previously on Via Non Capta.
Okay, last time was a little bit of an adventure. As you guys saw from last time, the crew on the ground decided to venture closer to the civilization in the jungle. And after some discussion, the captain decided to uh, kind of not, I guess, really realizing the consequences, climbed a tree, realized there were people up there, and then climbed back down. And her climbing back down notified the natives to their general location, and the natives came rushing to investigate the noise. And while that was happening, Silva directed our hat to throw a stick to distract the natives, and the stick struck the captain in the face. She fell down from that. And then Silva picked up the professor and hauled it to this kind of like shrubbery bush area that he enjoyed, and held up there with the professor, while our hat went to the captain, got the captain back up on her feet, and pulled her into a nearby kind of brush nearby the tree, and held up there while they watched the natives begin to come around their general area. Now, the two major things that happened in the episode, or at least the two things that to perpetuate forward, was that our hat got a his communicator went off at some point during that, which he was able to silence to a limited degree. Only a minor little chirp went off. And I think really the thing that everybody's probably been talking about the most is that Sova decided to, when he saw movement that our hat also saw, he saw a movement in a farther off section of the brush. Silva went and investigated and found it was members of a Tellarite expedition team, either the same team or a different team. Not really sure because questions were not asked, only names were taken in a sense. So Silva dispatched of these four individuals with prejudice, and then returned to his shrubbery, where he held up with the professor. And then I said that's generally where we left off. I don't think and there's any point to the like laboring over any of that. Everybody seems caught up. So making this a proper cliffhanger, we'll cut back to the Drake, and we will see what the three of them are doing, while we know that Dr. House is in his med bay. So what are you other three characters doing at this moment? So you're all on the Drake. You haven't heard from them in probably, oh gosh, probably at this point a day. Probably a full day has gone by. And it would probably be safe to assume that you have reached out to them via the shuttle that they were had come down in, but you're not able to reach their personal communicators nor locate them on the planet. So that's the position that you're in from the Drake, but you guys can be doing anything you want.
I want it to be it says 24 hours earlier, and
Mm-hmm.
it's it's the lieutenant commander, and he's right on deck.
Okay.
I take a seat in the captain's chair. It's not quite as comfortable as I thought it would be, but got to stay alert as the captain.
So Lozesh asks you if you've received a message from Starfleet HQ, to which you personally didn't get one. The ship did receive messages, but anything labeled you would have to look at you'd have to look at like the individual messages that have come to the ship, and obviously, one, there has been a message sent to the captain.
Hmm. Well, we should probably check through those messages.
Okay, so looking at the message, you see, Jhon, that her friend Barnaby has said that he knows of this Dr. Viams. He knows that he's in custody, but he's currently comatose and he's at Starfleet Medical. And that he's curious as to how anybody on the Drake, specifically Dr. House's patient, would know anything about this individual. And that's kind of what he leaves off at the message.
Is he comatose the same way I was
It's possible. I mean,
for the same reason?
it's very possible. The only thing is he didn't provide like Dr. Viam's like medical like records. He didn't provide those. So you can only theorize why he possibly is in a coma.
So my gut feeling is he is, and that I would go to Dr. House and ask them to send his information about me there to see if they could revive him.
I didn't quite finish my thought with the 24 hours thing. So I sit in the chair,
Okay.
ready to take lead.
Okay.
And then from there, it's just a montage of nothing happening.
I see.
And I'm trying to do leadership things or trying to just walking around. I call the engine room.
Yeah.
So
How many hamburgers did you have during this time?
at least 3,
Yeah, right.
at least, just from nerves. Then at one point, I say, I better, as the acting captain, I should probably give the away team some encouragement. And I send them a voice memo.
The away team was very encouraged by your voice memo.
Yes, as I knew they would be.
Nice.
So then it brings us to current time where he asks about the messages, and I'm all about it.
Okay. Yeah.
So we can't get in contact with them at all, and we don't see them on our screens either.
No, you can contact the shuttle. Like, you're not having a problem contacting the shuttle. And if you chose to contact the base, you can contact the base. But you can't see the away team on sensors. And when you try to like personally contact them, nothing happens.
Shouldn't that raise some
It's a
goose
thing.
pimples?
So yeah, so here the thing that would kind of naturally happen is it would raise alarm, and you would probably assume something bad is happening, but it's also a delicate situation where you're not sure if putting more people on the ground would cause more problems.
Yeah, we'll trust the captain, and we'll know if anything goes wrong. She'll find a way to give us a signal.
I would never do anything foolish, ever.
I think we all need to get our Hawaiian shirts on and go down to the planet.
The captain was very explicit with her orders. We probably shouldn't. Although the idea of Hawaiian shirts is appealing.
So
And also, the last time we had a mission, we may have bungled that up a little bit, and that's probably why we're not on this one.
Did I
just
do
pictured-
that?
I just pictured John like going through the captain's like personal messages and stuff.
Maybe I'll see what the good doctor's doing.
okay. So you make your way down to the med bay, and when you enter the med bay, Dr. House is sitting at a monitor, and he has one, like, he's kind of like, you can tell by his body language that he's very invested in the monitor. And when he hears the the doors close, when he hears the medical doors close, you see that he turns off the monitor and turns around to see who's coming in.
Doctor, what's good in medicine?
Acting Captain, nice to see you.
Ah, yes. Good to be seen. It's been a pretty quiet 24 hours.
Yeah, it's nice having most of the crew gone.
Uh, yeah, normally I would be welcome to that, but seems I found myself with very little to do as I can't really monitor the activities on the planet, and everything's quiet up here. Is there anything I might be able to help you with, Doctor?
I don't believe so.
Oh, that's
It's pretty quiet
unfortunate.
down here as well.
Yeah.
I don't even have any
Oh.
patients currently. So. Yeah, I have nothing going on down here.
Ah, yeah. I just thought I'd make my rounds and make sure everybody's you know, keeping busy.
Well, back on the star base when we got slow, we used to partake in some scotch and poker.
Ah, card games. Yes, I'm very familiar. Do you happen to have Uno?
Yeah, we can find anything. Yeah.
Wow. No, I was just wondering if you had it. I don't actually like to play
No.
the game.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I feel it doesn't foster good relationship.
No.
Um,
No, I've never been a fan of the reverse.
yeah, yes. I said skip. That's one too.
Those are
Yep.
those are fighting words. And
Yeah,
change for any color. I mean, come on.
that's yeah. I like things to be a bit more decisive, as I'm sure you do, Doctor.
Yeah, I like things to be more strategy, not just chance of cards.
Yes.
Every-
So
every
how
time
about a
you-
game of go fish?
Goldfish, yeah. Well, when I was a boy, I had a goldfish.
Go fish. The card
Oh,
game.
go fish. No, never heard of it.
I would like to play that with you.
Well, yeah, that sounds good.
It's a game that I was taught on Earth. I've played it once.
Well, I can meet you up in the mess hall in like 30 minutes.
I already have it set up. Let's go.
So you watch House as Jhon very hurriedly and excitedly makes his way out of the med bay. And as you can't help but chuckle, you recall your work that you were kind of knee deep into, and it's definitely something that's going to be on your mind.
Yeah. So none of my results have come back then.
Nothing has come back conclusive.
No,
The
that's
intercom
so that's
noise in the med bay goes off. Doctor, I'm here whenever you're ready. This is
I have the
Acting
I have the
Captain.
fish all set up.
Just whenever at your leisure, Doctor.
Great. Yeah, I'll be right. I'll be right there. So, Will,
Right,
that's you. I ran stuff against what Starfleet and Starport.
Yeah, you basically ran things against Federation and like friendly species that have like they may not be a part of the Federation, but they're like friendly.
Gotcha. And I don't really have any like higher up friends in Starfleet to.
Probably not anymore.
No, not anymore. No, definitely not. Well, then I'll wait for some more results to come back. Then I guess.
Yeah, your next option is to obviously either run it against other stuff, like other species that aren't a part of those categories,
Yeah.
or things that have been like one track, kind of like a bump and run kind of thing, like species that they've interacted with, but have only had one instance.
Yeah, man, I feel like Starfleet would have a pretty vast array of,
Well, as long as they have basically like DNA interaction with those species, then yes.
right. Yeah, and because of the timeline we're into, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would start new. I feel like I'd already be like running like samples and stuff.
Okay, so let's have you run. You'll run. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to do bump and runs or species that don't fall into those categories of Federation
Let's
/ happy?
let's do a good old bump and run.
All right. At the risk of Jhon pressing the intercom again, you make your way down the
He's so
mess hall. And I guess I'll let Jhon just describe what you see when you walk in.
I'm holding a bottle of scotch.
I got
And-
there's like, I don't know, seven, we'll say 7 cards on one side of the table. There's 7, I'm holding 7, and there's just a mess of cards right in the middle, playing cards, Doctor, fine, you're here. Yeah, I was keeping busy. I played a few hands by myself, and I lost.
Wow.
Not sure. I'm not sure. I really remember the rules.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds
We're
maybe
going
the
well.
other guy was good.
Please take a seat,
Never.
and we'll get this going.
Okay. So I sit down and I pour 2 glasses.
May have to pass for today. Since I'm driving. That's just that's an old trucks joke from Earth. Yeah.
God.
I just this game and arranging it and playing it just brings me back to my childhood. Especially after just having a lot of time to think since the captain and crew have been gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, I will ask if you have a certain card in your hand.
Okay.
If not, you tell me to go fish, which is the name of the game.
Oh,
However, if you have the card, you give it to me, I make a pair. And therefore I get a point.
very
When you
good.
go fish, you draw from the pond, which is the mess of
Mm.
cards in the middle.
So
And
I take it saying go fish is the polite way of telling you to get lost, basically.
You do want to win. So yes, I think maybe you have played this before.
Get fished.
What we'll have you do is when one of you is going to do the go fish thing, we'll have you roll a d20 then.
Maybe we'll do a little flashback where I'm waiting for the doctor.
Okay, yeah.
And I have tried to make communication with Sandin at the base.
Okay. Yours would be a control engineering task. Difficulty 0. So to get momentum, and then we'll have I guess let's have Mike. Let's have Mike you roll for the ship. Communications engineering. You're also difficulty 0.
I just need to know what number I rolled for because I got a 10.
You need a 9.
Needed a 9.
Yep.
Missed it by
Yeah,
one.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, so 2 momentum, unless you want to use them. So you contact Sandin, and he says that the 3 of them, the captain, the commander, and Lieutenant Sova, and the professor went into the jungle over a day ago, close to a day ago, and that he tried to reach out to Commander Arhat to let them know that more of the Tellarites were had gone into the jungle, and he was going to stop them, but he knew that, perhaps just more people going into the jungle would be bad. But he hasn't heard from our hat, but he does know that his communicator, it wasn't like his communicator, like it just went to his communicator and he didn't hear anything. What he got back was basically like a hang up. So instead of, like when you call somebody and instead of it ringing, then it goes to voicemail, he got like
Yeah.
a half ring and it went like, it cut off. So he knew it was like somebody was interacting with the communicator.
I see. Okay.
So Sondon's the one that called Mike?
Now Jhan's learning right now that yes, Sondon
And
was the
almost got everyone killed. Wow.
So
He needs to be agonized.
So that's like the update on the ground is that he's at the base waiting for them, and that's all he knows.
He's unable to communicate with them, obviously.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
And basically you get he indicates to you that like he'd be happy to try to contact them again, but it seems like when he did the first time he was kind of like shut down. Don't contact.
Okay. That was it. That's what I did in the interim.
So you're sitting at the table. Who goes first?
Well, I'll go first and set
Okay.
precedent for the game here.
And John Deal.
Say, Doctor, do you have a 6?
No, even yes. Okay.
Yeah. Beep, beep.
Yeah, double yes. Yeah, I do have a 6.
Excellent. So I will take that from you, put it in a pile over here, and that pair counts as 1 point for me.
Wow, excellent.
Now it is your turn.
Oh, okay. Do you have any kings?
Oh. It seems as though I do.
Nice.
And I shall give this to you, which will go into your pile. And that is
Thank you.
1 point for you, Doctor.
Yes. Make a note of that.
Yes. So you see, the game is simple for anybody to pick up.
Probably easier if you can see the cards, I assume.
You would think so. But that would take the chance out of it. There has to be a little bit of chance.
Takes
And
the
in
skill out
most
of it.
Earth games, there's a little bit of chance is what brings the thrill of the game. Yes, and the randomness of the pond, as it were. Really, it's an intriguing game. Intriguing.
Should have played Jenga.
Ah, maybe next time. Or maybe right after this. Speaking of, we haven't heard anything from the captain, and it's been about a day now.
Yeah.
I contacted Sondon down there at the base, and he also hasn't had any contact.
He has had 0 contact.
Yes, it seems that something's preventing communications from wherever it is that they've gone.
And they've left the base.
It seems so, yeah. Do you have a 5?
This is perfect Star Trek.
I do not. I do not have a 5. No.
That means I must go fish.
Get fished.
Get fished.
So shall I roll?
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay, roll
whatever.
your 6-sided special die, and if you get deltas, then the delta will be the benefit, whatever that.
Okay. I did not draw the 5, so the turn goes to you, Doctor.
Oh yes. Do you have any 10s?
Ah, I do not. You'll have to go
Hmm.
fish.
I shall fish myself. Here we go.
They're
Oh, I
playing the
got a
right way,
delta.
but that doesn't mean that
Ah.
that's how my kids play.
I have rolled a delta.
Wow. Then
So
you
I
may
got-
take another turn, Doctor. What good
Ah.
luck.
Do
You
you
aren't
have
cheating,
any?
perchance, are you?
Do you have any fives?
Ooh. I actually rolled a 5, which means I do not. And you will have to go
Interesting.
fish once again.
Wow, I shall fish again. Oh. No.
All right. So before you ask him, Jhon, what I want you to do, Caleb, is I want you to roll another d6. Just roll that right now.
Just roll it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Did you get a delta?
I did get a delta.
Okay. So as he has been playing with you and you've been listening to him and playing the game, you have been distracted and don't realize you've been drinking a little bit more of the scotch than you anticipated.
Well, I poured 2 glasses and he didn't have any, so I had
So
both of those.
you have finished your glass and had his.
Nice.
And we're starting on your third.
Yes,
Got it.
correct.
Oh, I don't remember these being empty. Oh. Hey, here you go.
You're my bestest best friend.
Doctor, do you happen to have an ace?
An ace. I might. I do.
Ah, and that's my pair.
You can have it.
Thank you. I
You're
was
welcome.
thinking more about Sonden's correspondence or lack thereof.
Hmm.
It seems what do you think could be causing the interference with the communications down there?
Well, I am just a medical professional.
Which is why I
Hmm.
value your opinion.
Exactly. So I would assume that it would have to be some kind of communication barrier.
Very astute, Doctor.
What are the possible, what's the possible scenarios? Could be a dampening device on the whole
Could be.
planet, but we've had communication with the base, so that can't be it.
Correct.
But they've left the base, you said. They went on like an
That's when they
excursion?
lost communications, yes.
Well, then it has to be something on the planet off of base.
Yeah, possibly native to the planet.
Could be some kind of native dampening array.
Could be.
Oh.
Well, either way, your guess here, Doctor.
Do you have any sixes?
I don't. You'll have to go fish.
I will fish myself. Here we go. Oh, nope, nothing.
Ah. Bad luck.
I'll add another card to my deck.
Bad luck. Couldn't be luck, could it? That's how everybody's communicator just happened to die out at once.
No, I don't think. I mean, I'm no
Yeah.
engineer, but I highly doubt that could happen.
Now, do you have any tens?
I do not have any tens.
Then I'll have to go fish.
Perhaps you should fish.
No fish. No fish for
No
me.
Well, no fish.
Is it
You
the planet?
think the captain is dead?
I can't imagine. She's
No,
been through a lot. There's no way this would.
She's far too fast thinking to be vulnerable out there.
Yeah, I mean the planet it's it's covered in trees.
It's true. I mean, what could possibly happen?
It's
I mean,
not like she's
trees.
gonna go climbing up any trees.
No, why you'd have to be an idiot to climb a
No,
tree.
there's no situation where I could see the captain doing that.
No, I mean that's absolutely ridiculous. No Starfleet member, high-ranking member, would be caught dead climbing a tree.
Nah,
Or even
not a
getting hit
program.
with a stick for that matter.
Yeah,
Doctor,
I don't know.
is there any possibility that the native foliage there
Yeah,
could somehow be messing with signals? Is natural matter able to?
theoretically, yeah.
Huh.
Theoretically, there could be a biofauna that could be dampening the solar rays,
Hmm.
but it's way above my pay grade.
Ah, yeah, you and me both.
Don't you know? Don't you know? Don't we have like a very smart engineer on board?
Huh. I,
About-
I appreciate the compliment, Doctor, but I am acting captain right now.
Ah,
It is
well,
your
is there?
turn. It is your turn. We should
Do you
keep
have
the game.
any threes?
Ah, you're gonna have to go fish once
Wow.
more. This
Wow.
is
I'm just glad I brought all of my good lures. Nothing.
now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. I'd also like to mention, Doctor, that I did have to take bits and pieces from many different packs of cards. I did not have a complete set.
Oh, good.
I in my haste to play, I didn't grab a complete deck.
So now
yes.
you look at
This
it. You look
this
at it
is a
how
business card.
yeah, you look more closely. Actually, you know what? Let's have you roll science and insight difficulty uh, 0. It's 0.
Okay, I got one success.
Okay, so with that success, you as you examine these more closely, let's have you also roll a d6.
Okay, I got one.
No delta.
No delta.
So as you examine these cards more closely, you're now noticing that some of them are regular like Earth playing cards of normal, 2 to ace, nothing weird about them. But intermixed that you can see on the backs that like on the table in front of you, not all of them have the same back. And in fact, you're pretty sure some of them are other playing cards that you've seen from other board games, but there's also suspiciously like Andorian, like perhaps trading cards.
Oh, excellent. Andorian trading cards.
Yeah, perhaps like sports teams, almost like an Andorian sport where it has like
Wow.
trading cards of those athletes.
That's fascinating.
Huh. Yeah, this might be why I lost the last several games I played with myself. As I said, it's been a very long time, Doctor. I
Hmm.
might have to apologize. But before we do that, perhaps we should go pay a visit, I think, to Ensign Clarke.
do you think the doctor's well enough to walk to Ensign Clarke?
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's only had 2 drinks. He's okay.
That's true. We shouldn't take the drinks out of the mess hall. Perhaps we'll call him up here. Ensign Clarke to the mess hall, please.
So where are you, Ensign Clarke?
Well, so Ensign Clarke puts down his pipe wrench and like gets on the turbo lift.
So he doesn't respond to Jhon. He just immediately
No,
he just knows.
no, he knows.
To your surprise, Jhon, you say, acting Captain Jhon to Ensign Clarke, and you don't get a response, but probably within 45 seconds of you doing that, Ensign Clarke comes walking into the mess hall.
Ensign, good to see you.
Commander Jhon.
Okay, I'm going to have Ensign Clarke roll science and insight. Difficulty 0.
Two.
Okay. And then have Clarke roll a d6.
2.
Okay. So Ensign Clarke, when he comes in, he sees Jhon at the comm and he says, Ensign. And when you look over at the table, you see the very familiar game of Go Fish that Jhon has put together for you in the past. And it's very similar. It is a smattering of the same cards. And you look and you see a very as jovial as you have seen Dr. House be, you can tell that perhaps he's a little more loose, and you see the scotch in his bottle that he's currently drinking, or in his glass that he's currently drinking.
Yeah. So I say, oh, so he talked you into playing his version of Goldfish as well. And I say, yeah, because it's me. I'm sitting there waiting. Yes, very enjoyable this game. You know, it's funny. I grew up on Earth and never once played Goldfish. So, and then Ensign Clarke says, "Well, I played it on the space base all the time, but I never played it this way. I don't think Jhon still hasn't separated those cards into one solid deck yet."
Well, it's an exciting game, and in my excitement, I may have forgotten to shuffle the cards. But Ensign, I was wondering, do you think it's possible that the foliage on the planet is somehow preventing communications?
Yeah, I believe that could be the case. Why? Where's your question coming from?
Well, Sondin down at the base, he hasn't been able to get in contact with the captain for some time now, and obviously we can't either. And the good doctor here had a great idea, and he thought that maybe we could perhaps get a sample of that and see if we can't crack the code to get communications through.
Okay. So what do you propose? You want to take a shuttle down and get a sample?
Perhaps. Are we able to just beam any up here?
Yeah, you could beam some plants up.
All right, I think maybe that's we'll get a sample going.
Okay. So Clarke
Did you care to join us though, Ensign?
Oh no, I'd be far too busy getting this transporter running.
Of course. I get lost in the game.
No.
All right, please update me with any.
I wouldn't want the entire ship to be busy while the captain is gone.
Of course.
And then the door
we'll be finishing up here.
The door just shuts behind him.
Oh, okay. No, he's
All right, have House roll another d6.
God. All right, Delta.
Okay, you've had 2 more glasses of scotch.
Okay.
And you are definitely having a pretty good time at the table right now.
Yeah. I'm very much enjoying this game of fish.
You are.
I knew you'd like it, Doctor. Don't listen to the ensign. He's he lost when we played, so he's a little bitter about it.
Yeah, he seems to be a very bitter young man.
I like that this is House saying this about Clarke.
Yeah. House was
Doctor.
very, yeah.
Do you have any Mickey mantles?
Let me check.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, actually, would you look at that? It was stuck behind the earth jack.
Excellent. I
Very
believe
good.
that puts me ahead.
My turn now.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any update on what's
Dude.
been happening outside of this game.
No, he's very slow. Ensign Clarke's very slow.
He means
noticed.
well, though.
He does. Do you have any Orion slave girl trading cards?
You won't believe this, Doctor.
Wow, no way.
Yeah.
I've never seen two in person in my entire life.
I have been collecting playing cards for so long, and I have never seen this.
Oh,
You're a natural at this game, Doctor.
this is amazing.
So let's have Clarke. Let's have Clarke roll a control engineering task of difficulty 3.
Oh my god.
And we'll have Andrew roll for sensors and engineering for the ship.
Okay, so I need to roll a 13 or better, and it's a difficulty 3.
Yeah.
That's not fair. Clarke hasn't even been drinking.
Clarke hasn't been drinking.
No, I know. So why is it such a hard difficulty then to use the transporter?
Because you're not using a transporter. Like the tree is not on the transporter. The bush or whatever, the leaves are
So
not.
I'm just dialing in a random location and just hitting beam aboard.
Yeah. It's not a difficulty 4 because you are using a transporter pad. So with transporters, transporter pad to transporter pad, it's difficulty 2. The leaves are not on a transporter pad. I didn't make them up. It's just the game mechanic.
All right, let me buy 2 momentums. We had plenty, right?
Yeah, you have 6.
They're fine down there. That's
If
fine.
you're buying 2 dice, it would cost you 3.
So will I have a focus in machine operation?
Yep.
Does that do anything?
Yeah, if you roll your engineering number or less, you'll get more successes.
Okay. Yeah, let me use 3 momentum and buy 2 dice. I really feel like this is something, Will, that you're gonna have me beam aboard some bug person or something awful.
So now that you've committed, I can tell you I got a success.
Perfect.
So you only need 2 successes.
Okay, great. This is great news. Okay, here we go.
So whenever you have untapped potential. So whenever the character succeeds at a task for which they bought 1 or more additional dice with either momentum or threat, so you did it with momentum, they may roll 1d6. That character receives bonus momentum equal to the roll of the d6. And if you roll an effect, I get a threat. So you can fill your momentum pool up based off of if you have successes.
So if I roll a success, I get to roll a d6.
You have to, if you roll 2 successes right now,
you
can roll a d6 and add that much momentum back.
Which is like what, 1 or 2 based on the.
It'd be 1 or 2 based off of the explosions, or 1 and I get a threat for a delta.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, here. Okay, I got a delta and a 5. So that's 3 successes right there.
Delta and a 5. Okay, you rolled them together?
Yeah. No, I rolled 2 d20s.
Oh, a delta and a 5. I see on your I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So I got 3 successes because I needed the 5 is above my engineer.
But he still has the other 2 d20s to roll, right?
Yes. So he's already succeeded, so now he's going for extras.
Yeah. So it's 3 successes plus 1 from the ship. So these are just two bonuses, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you already, yeah.
1. I
More
got
moment.
1 out of that.
You gotta spend momentum to get it.
You got to spend it to get it. So just 1 momentum goes back in the pool. So we're at 4.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Did you put one back, Andrew?
Yes. I thought, is he rolling again or?
I think he did.
Nope.
Okay.
That was it. So I look at the panel. I've been looking at this panel. Just making sure all the wires are connected, making
Yep.
sure, all the screws are tight. Then I go, all right. I look around the room.
Did he roll the
I say-
d6 to see if he could get more?
Yeah, you kind of want to roll that d6.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 explosions.
So
Alright.
2 momentum.
We're back to 6.
momentum.
So I look around the room and make sure nobody's in the room. And then I go, energize. I slide the flame.
And so for with no problem whatsoever, you make a very clean lock and you perfectly transport a section of small like twig parts that are no bigger than the transport pad, and they do not the leaves don't even overhang the like circular outer edge of the transport pad. It is a perfect transport of these like small twig branches from the foliage.
So I go over to the wall intercom and I say, this is Isaac Clarke to Commander Jhon.
Go for acting captain.
I have that sample you requested on the transport pad.
Oh, excellent. I shall be over momentarily.
So roll another d6 there, Caleb, for house.
God, no.
just,
No.
just hold on. Just hold on.
I know what you're doing. I think you're forgetting something about house too, Will.
I am not. I am not.
No. That's 2 explosions.
Okay, nothing
2
happened.
more shots.
No, not 2 more shots. No, 2 more shots. Okay. So what are you doing, John? Are you leaving the
So, Doctor, it seems we're tied in points. Perhaps one last round for each of us to determine the winner.
That seems fair.
Then please, I'll allow you to take your turn.
All right. Do you have any aces?
I do.
Oh, I knew it.
Okay. You're up by 1.
Uh-huh.
All right. So this is it.
Take your final guess.
You have any ones?
It's interesting that you ask that because I do. 1-1.
Ah. Well played, Doctor. It seems you've gotten quite a grasp on this game, but I still go undefeated.
I've taken a very good liking to this fish game.
My win streak is actually at 0, but I am undefeated.
And we will have
All right.
we'll have to play again.
Absolutely. We'll have to do a Jenga tiebreaker.
And I will bring I'll add some of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards to the next deck. See if I fare any better.
Plenty of fish in the sea, Doctor. I better go see the ensign.
Yeah, I should come with you if I'm going to be looking at the sample.
Yes, let's both go. And scene.
And see.
So you guys get to the transporter pad and you see Clarke is very meticulously running a diagnostic on the transporter system. When you walk up to him, he's like looking over the transport thing, and you see on there is this very well manicured like twig branch perfectly on the transporter pad.
Ensign, this sample is immaculate.
Thank you, sir.
Literally couldn't have done it better myself.
No, you could not have. I pinpointed the location meticulously. I went over data and logs and local maps.
Well done.
I got this one stick.
All right. Perhaps we can do some testing on this foliage here to see if there's any way to let our communications pass through.
So, like without hesitation, House reaches in his back pocket. He pulls out a glove and he puts a glove on. And he just walks over and he picks up the stick and leaves the room.
Ensign, this guy beat your record.
Did he?
Uh-huh. It was a draw.
He must have had a lot less trading cards in his hand.
He seemed to pick up the game rather quickly. We could both take a few lessons from the good doctor.
Yes, I'm sure we could. Is this was all you needed from me, sir?
Yes, Ensign. I think we should perhaps join the doctor to see what he has in store for us.
Okay, very good.
So where did House go with the branch?
He went to medbay.
Okay. So you, Jhon, and Ensign Clarke walk in, and House already has like to the right side of his lab that's like pushed back a little bit ways. It's not from the main area where he works. It's like his little setup of a tiny little lab against the wall. You see that he is already like scanning it with a hand scanner and already like working at looking at what it is.
Just picture like the stick laying on the table and just like oh, it's made out of wood. Wow.
Let's have you roll a science control difficulty
Okay.
2.
Let me buy one dice with one momentum.
Bought 1 dice.
So I need a 15. So I got a 12 and a 2. Is it
Okay.
2? Yeah, it's a 2.
That's within your science range. Do you have a focus
Yeah.
on like plant life or anything like that?
Not really.
Okay. So
just the 2 successes then.
So with the 2 successes, you see on the hand scanner that this thing can easily deflect your scanners, even the limited amount of foliage that's on this branch, that it's like are immediately deflecting your scans and just giving you more repeated images of like the counter and like the cabinetry and like yourself and the hand scanner and also the branch. You're getting all this mirrored effect, but the scanner, through looking at it, you're able to understand that it is the hand scanner isn't malfunctioning. It's the foliage, the actual leaves, and other parts, the other like fauna that's on the tree branch, this little branch kind of piece, that's causing the disruption.
This branch seems to have some sort of mirror capability.
Interesting. Ensign, I think if we take these properties and we can run communications so that the mirroring syncs back up. Yeah, let's go, Ensign. We're gonna go fix these communications. I want an engineering montage.
Just like the branch, and you just got your like, Ah.
Okay, so then what I'll have you do is with Clark helping you and the ship helping you and you doing it, there will be 3 rolls. I'm gonna have you do it's gonna be difficulty 3. We'll have Adri roll for the ship. And that the ship will be sensors engineering. That'll be the ship. And the both you, John, are gonna roll engineering control, and you, Caleb, are gonna roll engineering reason.
I do have a focus in jury rigging. Would this sort of be jury rigging?
Well, let me see what you can. If you can explain to me how this is a repair, then I will make it happen.
It's sort of repairing the communications to allow us to use them on this planet. Is it
Okay.
specific to this?
Okay. Okay, like you're essentially repairing the problem that's not allowing you to do it. Okay. Okay, so it's only temporary. That's what this is going to give you. It'll only last a single scene. So if we change scenes, it'll not happen. Okay, and then to fix it again, it would increase it. So what it does, what your initial benefit is it lowers the difficulty by 2.
Whoa. All right.
There you go.
I didn't know jury rigging was like a fixing thing. I thought it was like a slop stuff together, like MacGyver kind of thing.
It's
Gotcha.
yeah,
Well, you have a
it's like
focus in it, and you have a talent in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the focus is just you would just get the benefit of your engineering number and less for successes. But if you use your talent,
Oh,
then the talent is reducing this difficulty and giving you all that extra stuff.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, technically, you can use both.
Yeah, might as well. So
Right.
what does that bring the difficulty to? A 1?
A 1, yep.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
I may have rolled a 20, and I also may have rolled a 5, which is my engineering number.
Okay.
Does it all just cancel each other out?
You can use a momentum to cancel out that complication.
That would be great.
Okay. What did you get, Caleb?
I got 1 success.
Okay. And I don't know if Adri got her.
I did not. It was a fail.
Okay. So you get 1 extra momentum. And now who do you designate to send your message to?
I mean, it would probably be the captain with not knowing their situation.
Okay. All right, Captain.
No, wait a
That's
minute
such a
here.
bad-
Before we
This
get
is
wild.
this is such a bad idea.
Is there any way so that they can communicate? Like I don't send a message at all, and that it makes it so that they are able to make and receive
Okay.
communications.
I can do a thing. So with breaking through, you can pinpoint where their communicators are in the jungle.
That's what I was thinking.
You don't
Yeah.
necessarily know if they're alive. You just know that there are 3 communicators, and 2 are very close to each other, and 1 is a little ways away from each other.
Okay. I mean, I guess that was the main point of the whole thing.
Okay.
I don't necessarily need to immediately do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would tell Sondon that, give him the locations or let him know that it's,
Yeah, so you'd be able to see that from where Sondon and the Tellarite officer are, that they are about little less than a 20-hour on foot travel. So that's how far away that they've traveled.
okay. So I'll contact Sondon then and let him know, coordinate wise, like, because I'm sure they have maps and stuff.
Right, yep. Yep. You could send him like map coordinates to his hand scanner.
Okay. Maybe I would also be asking Sondon if anyone there on the base might know where they're headed or the direction that they're going. Like if there's anything specifically out there. So they don't have like any information outside of
Oh, you
their
mean
own base? Just
do
like,
you-
yeah, like just like location wise, do they know what's out there?
yeah, they have a general, so they know what's around the base very well because that's where they've been building this base for the last little bit here. But they only have the report of the original Tellarite expedition team of like where the civilization is, so it's all word
Okay.
of mouth. So they also didn't get scans like deep into the jungle or anything. They just have like a report that says, hey, they found these things and they're somewhere out there in the jungle. And they were in this general direction that's about 20 hours away.
I see. So would they know generally then where the civilization is compared
Yes.
to where they're at right now?
Yeah, they would have a pretty decent understanding of where it is.
Okay.
But they wouldn't know like coordinate to coordinate. They would just know it's in this direction.
All right. So they don't know like how far away they are from it. Like if they're really close to the civilization or
No, they would generally know that they're, X amount of miles from where the Tellarites reported where they saw it.
okay. Right.
But they don't have like a live tracking of it. It's not like they don't have like GPS coordinates to it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So Sandin would ask you, do you want him to go into the jungle to look for them?
I think perhaps Sandin that we'll keep an eye on their locations and
Okay.
we'll see if there's movement one direction or the other over the course of some time here, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Basically,
Captain.
like if you beam down like a group of security guys, like then you'll know what to do from there.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. 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 I'm never giving up.
All right, I think now that's a perfect way. That's a nice little cut to go back to them onto the planet. So Silva has returned to the shrubbery, and he is standing there with the professor. And you and Knightley are in the bush, and in front of you are a couple of the natives. And the natives don't seem to be aware of you standing in the bush. They're not looking at the bush at all. They're just kind of walking around doing these like trilling, humming, kind of clicking things with each other.
Okay. Well, that's good. So we'll just hunker down and wait, I guess, right?
Okay.
No sense in making any sudden moves.
Yeah, and make sure your communicator's on silent mode.
Yep. Okay, so I do that.
Okay, what do you do, Sova?
Can I see them?
You know where they are. You know where the captain and the commander are. And you can see all the natives running around. But it's a thing where they're going like back and forth, like the natives are over here talking and then they walk over to this area and then they talk and then they walk over to this area and they talk.
I think I would wait a little just to see if they would calm down. I think I would wait a little bit. So
Okay.
thinking if we wait, I would at least wait like 10, 20 minutes, to see if their pattern changes. Like if they start to calm down and go back up onto the tree, then I don't have to do anything.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll do this. So fortunate for you. So rolling a delta, just about probably 15 more minutes after you guys have been kind of quiet, you see that they are not necessarily like, oh well, like shrugging it off, like must have been the wind. They're not really quite doing that, but they are slowly returning back up. And you can tell that they are much more alert than they were when you previously had scanned them from a distance. You can tell that they're from their bioluminescent patterns that you can see on your hand scanner, so that they are like the same emotion is happening when they were on the ground. They're just going back up into the treetops. So you Knightley and Arhat are watching as they leave where you're standing and they're returning back up to the trees.
So once we're safe, then we would rendezvous like somewhere, meet with Sova and the professor.
Okay, so you're gonna move to Sova and the professor?
Yeah, are we safe? Are there anywhere?
Yeah, there's no natives around you. Yeah, they're not gonna do that. There's no natives around you.
I would head in the direction that Sova went, because if he's safe, then it's safe to go that way.
Okay.
Yep.
And there are
Yep.
less natives in that direction than there are where we are.
So you're both gonna roll fitness con, but you are it's gonna be a difficulty 0, and yours is gonna be a difficulty 1. Captain.
I got 1.
And we are at max. We're at 6 momentum.
I got nothing. 0.
Can Arhat use the momentum that he
Yeah,
just
can
got?
I use the momentum where I help her go?
Yes.
Then
So
I
spend
will use
momentum.
I will
Yeah.
use the momentum I just got to make sure the captain and I are able to get out there safely.
So as the captain exits the brush, you notice that she's still like a little imbalanced from getting hit in the face with the stick.
A little
So
dazed.
dazed. There you go. So you kind of shoulder her and you very quietly make your way over to Sova. Okay, Sova, so you see the captain and Arhat approaching, and you can see what Arhat is shouldering the captain, and they move silently over to you. And now the 4 of you are back together.
Okay. So when they make it over, I would leave the bush to speak with them.
Okay.
Captain, Commander.
Lieutenant, good to see you.
Is most agreeable that we all seem to be safe.
I agree. We have-
Sova, roll a d6.
2.
Okay. You don't know what Sova did at all.
Okay.
Arhat knows that there was movement on the like the forest, like the jungle line. And I think I said he saw Sova enter the jungle line, but he doesn't know anything that happened.
Right.
Because I saw you move. I would have asked. I saw you leave the bush. What happened?
Oh,
Because you left the safe location to go over to the jungle line.
Yeah.
Why was there something over there?
So 4 Tellarites were coming. It seems like they wanted to raid the camp again. So I felt it necessary to disable them so that way the natives wouldn't spot them and make the situation worse.
Good work, Sova.
I was able to hide the body to make the bodies, they're unconscious. So that way, if the natives came looking for them over here, they wouldn't see them.
All right, so
So
roll
if-
another d6, so that's Andrew.
I'm gonna say
4.
Okay.
I would be torn, but at the same time, I would be. It's like 4 guys against one. Hmm. I'm questioning it because Sova is not exactly the fighter of the group,
Okay.
but I would be accepting what he's saying until something else comes up.
What shall we do with the Tellarites?
And right now they're unconscious.
So can we like beam them to the camp?
You could try contacting the ship, but again, because you know from the foliage that it may be very difficult.
I see. Very good.
But because I was contacted, I would be saying somebody tried to contact me. It might be about the Tellarites.
Okay.
I'm gonna see what what was going on.
Please do.
So what we're gonna do so that you guys know what's happening is Jhon and Clarke and House like discovering the plants and then going to the thing and like figuring out how to find you and locating you guys on the planet, and then Jhon contacting Sandan is now met. So you're now in live time. Just so you guys know where. So when you guys are all standing together as 4 people talking, the last thing that where we ended with Jhon and the other guys, that's what was happening.
Okay.
You wanted to step aside, Mike, and reach out to Sandan? Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I want to step aside and use my communicator and just it's one of those things I didn't know initially who was trying to contact me. It's
Okay.
Someone tried to contact me. Let's figure out what's going on.
Okay, so just roll an engineering control for a difficulty 1. Engineering control difficulty 1.
13. I have a 1 and a 12.
Awesome. Now I'm going to roll my side. Okay, nothing perfect. So you get a hold of Sandan, and he says, "Commander, it's very good to hear from you. Are you okay?"
We are all right. You were trying to contact me earlier?
Yes, a few hours ago, I just learned that the Tellarites had been gone for probably better part of a day.
Yeah, the Tellarites are
better
here.
part of half of a day. So I
Yeah,
was trying to reach out.
They are here right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I had contact with the Drake here moments ago, and they let me know that they have broken through the foliage and they can see where you guys are. And it seems like from the coordinates he sent me and from what the people say here at the base, it seems like you guys are right where the original expedition team was.
Yes, we are near here.
Okay. Has there been any problems?
Just the fact of we try to avoid being seen.
Oh, understood. What are our directions here back at the base? Jhon asked us not to go into the jungle, but now I'm talking to you.
For right now, we have 4 unconscious Tellarites to deal with.
Oh, okay.
So our choices are we stay here, people come and help us, or we try and get them out of here.
Okay. Well, we might be able to find an opening and move the shuttle closer to where they are without getting close to the civilization, and land and put the bodies on the shuttle pod and bring it back to the base or back to the Drake, depending on whatever you decide.
That would probably be the easiest way. Even if you have to set it down a little ways away, we could transport the 4 unconscious Tellarites.
Yeah, because I imagine too that even if they're not unconscious for the full 18 hours, they're going to wake up at some point.
Right.
And nobody wants 4 Tellarites to drag around back to the base.
No.
I don't want to deal with any of them, but
right,
we have to do something.
Golu and I will get right on that with the shuttle pod, and we'll try to find an area. We'll go up into higher atmosphere and do some scanning to see if we can find a clearing closer to the coordinates that Acting Captain Jhon sent us, and then we'll land in that area. And then, how do you want to go about it? Do you want me to contact you again once we've landed?
Yes, contact me again. We're in a location where there shouldn't be any problems.
Okay. The only other question I guess I have for you, Commander, and I understand if it's not any of my business, but were you able to determine what happened with the telepath, like the telepathic discs? Like, do you know what happened with it?
We have an idea of how they got them,
Okay,
but we don't have definitive proof.
understood. Okay, we'll get right on that, Commander. Hopefully, see you in a little bit.
Okay.
Sounded out. So you know, our half from then, that while it may be, an 18-hour walk on foot, it'll probably be like a 2-hour, maybe a less than 2-hour flight to your
Yeah.
location.
It's the difference between walking and the car.
Right. So, okay. So now, our hat, you know that the shuttle pod is on its way to your general location. Obviously, they're going to try to land away from the civilization.
Mhm.
And you are right back where you were. You're standing there in front of Sova and the professor and the captain. What's your guys' next play? You got to probably, let's say you got about an hour and 50 minutes until you assume the shuttle pod, like Sanden's going to get in contact with you again.
Yeah.
I
So
relate to you what's happening.
yeah.
Now we need to figure out exactly how we want to proceed.
So I want them beamed or transported. I don't care how they get there, but I want them on our ship. I want them confined to not quarters, but like
The brig.
the brig. Yeah, because I'm not gonna put them back in the colony with their buddies who are gonna just, like, we're done. I'm done playing.
Yeah.
Done playing. I just want to kind of hang out here, and I want Sova to be on guard in case any of them start like waking up.
Okay.
That's
So do you want Sova to go over to where he hid them, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want like, let's put him and the professor with them.
Okay.
And I guess like,
Well, right now they're unconscious. We can easily move them to a better location because they were just kind of hidden so that they wouldn't be found as all the aliens were running around.
Because I didn't put them in a nice location to move them to the ship. I just shoved them in like in a hole or something,
Yeah, he covered them with leaves.
Yeah, all the better.
So it might be a good idea for us to get them out.
To where the shuttle will be.
Easier to transport.
Okay. So is there a spot that we can see, like a clearing that would make sense for the shuttle to land, that we could make our way towards?
You'd have to start searching the jungle. You'd have to like.
Yeah.
Okay. So
honestly, the best thing for us to do would be make some makeshift transport.
Like stretchers.
Yeah, stretchers. Just take a couple sticks and tie a couple little branches to it so we can put them on it so that we can just pick them up and drag them to the location that we need to. Because I am not carrying them.
Yeah, I know. I really don't care.
So let's have the captain and our hat roll engineering control to make these stretcher things. Let's make it difficulty 2, because I don't think you guys have really ever broken sticks and like wrapped leaves together to make stretchers.
Can I assist?
No, you're over by the unconscious bodies.
Oh, that's right.
Guarding
I'm
them
keeping
with
guard with the professor, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
the professor's going to roll.
I was taught how to do it, but I am not proficient at it because I do have a field. One of my focuses is field medic, and getting people off of a battlefield.
Yeah.
It's basic training, but I may not be absolutely proficient.
I'll take that focus of yeah, I'll take it.
So I got one success, but it's the exact number. But that doesn't matter, does it? I don't remember.
No, did you roll your engineering number or less?
No.
I got a 1 and an 8.
So that's 3 successes.
Yes.
Okay, so you are at watch as you assemble two of these stretchers very quickly, and you look over at the captain and she's struggling with one.
Can I use my extra momentum to give her a success so she actually succeeds?
Absolutely, yeah. What we can just do is we'll use that momentum to create an advantage, and you go over to the captain and you're just like, "Oh, I see, Captain, what you're having a difficulty here is this issue," and you help her construct the final 2. Now, while you're in the process of constructing these stretchers, you hear hushed words between the professor and Sova. It seems like the professor is talking to Sova concernedly.
So I can hear this, you're saying?
You
No.
can hear them talking, but you don't know you can't hear the words.
I think because I have no chill now, because I have given up all pairs, I'm just going to say, is there a problem, Professor?
And then she says, "Captain, I have no problem, but I think your lieutenant here has some explaining to do."
I do not know to what you are referring to, Professor.
Roll a D6, Andrew.
Okay. 3.
Okay. And so Sova says that, and so the professor says to you, Captain, I would suggest you look at the Tellarites.
Okay. I look at her and I say, okay, and then I bend down to look at the Tellarite.
Roll medical insight. Difficulty 1.
I have 2 failures. My word.
Wow.
So you look down at the Tellarites, and they seem fine.
I don't see anything off. Their skulls aren't like shaved
Well,
off.
they're covered up for the most part, and you don't see anything suspicious.
Okay. So I'll like look up at her and I say, your point, Professor? What's wrong?
And she walks over and she pulls back more foliage from one of the Tellarites. And she points at him and says, he's not breathing.
So then I'll look at Sova and say, I thought you just neck pinched him. What'd you do?
I did, Captain. There was some resistance, so I had to apply more pressure.
Roll a D6.
Me?
No.
Why neck?
Oh, that's a
pinching, all right?
6.
So when Sova says that, you see on his face that there's probably something more going on. You can tell up until this point, Sova has seemed fine, but at this moment, when he says that sentence, you kind of get the feeling that perhaps Sova is not. There's more going on behind the eyes than you realize.
Okay. That's what his role just did?
Correct.
Oh my God. Okay, so I want to take like a pulse, like see if you cannot breathe and your heart is like beating slowly. I want to see if there's any or why don't I just scan him? Let me just scan him.
Okay, roll science control difficulty 1.
Okay, I got 2 successes.
So with your scan, you see that one of the Tellarites is just merely unconscious. He has a low heart rate and a low breathing rate, but he is just unconscious, as if he was like sleeping. The other 3 of them are near death.
Oh my God. Sova, what the heck is this? Like, did you know that you can kill people doing that?
I don't know what you two are referring to. Like I said, I had to apply more pressure to a few of them, but I had no intention of causing serious harm.
I'm sure you didn't mean to kill them.
I
Okay.
must point out, Captain, that they are not currently dead.
Okay, so I have some medical training, but not much.
We need to get the 4 of them out of here and get them over to the stretchers and assess them.
So leave the one that's still alive for now. Like that's still breathing for now.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
take them over to where we can like resuscitate them easier.
Okay.
And then like do I know anything about Tellarites?
You have a
Physiology?
general you have a
Yeah.
very general understanding. I mean, if they're not like foreign to the Federation.
Okay. So I would like to try to resuscitate one using like CPR and see
Yep.
if that helps. Okay.
So that's daring medicine, difficulty 2.
I actually got it. 2 successes.
Okay. So you've stabilized one of them, and now they just remain incapacitated.
Okay, so let me do the next one.
Like I said, before you roll, does Michael want to help with this process so that way he can do an assist roll for each one?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I just failed.
I was say I do have a focus of field medic.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, what are you waiting?
So roll same
Yeah.
thing, Mike. It's do medicine insight, and yours will be a difficulty of 1.
Medicine insight.
Yep.
The thing is I'm following the captain's orders. If the
Correct. So
captain
you're only
doesn't
rolling
tell me
1
to do
dice.
something, then
Okay.
did not make it. 7.
Okay.
Okay. So one of them stays in a critical state.
Okay, and I'll say Arhat, try the other one.
So you're gonna roll medicine daring difficulty 2.
Daring medicine 2.
Yep.
I got 1 success and 1 complication.
Oh god.
So as you're applying first aid to the Tellarite, you can see that perhaps his injuries are too severe and that you may be causing more issues.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back and get the other one that was healthier and bring him to our
Try to
safer.
kill that one.
So
So 2 are in stable condition,
yeah, and the other
2 remain in critical condition.
Okay. So I take out my communicator and I hail Sandin.
Okay, so you roll engineering control difficulty 2.
To contact.
He's not on the ground anymore.
Okay, so I got 1 success.
Mm-hmm.
How do I make that 2 successes?
You can spend a momentum.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, we're down to 5.
So
Okay.
with spending the momentum, you're able to contact Sandin.
Okay, and I got a success when I rolled anyway, so. Okay, so I say Captain Knightley to Sandin.
Yes, Captain.
I want you to get here as fast as humanly possible. We have 2 Tellarites who are on death's door.
Oh. Okay. I will do the best we can.
Thank you.
Does he see, before you hang up, does he see the clearing he's going to land in so we can start heading that way?
He just got like into atmosphere, so it's going to take him a minute to.
So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe you should ask him, like, hey, do you know which, or let me know when you pick the direction, so that way when they land, we'll be waiting for them instead of.
But here's the thing that I wonder. I like that, but I'm wondering if like dragging the Tellarites who are on their way out, like that probably will send them to their actual deaths. I think dragging a bot like somebody who's barely hanging on probably isn't
A little bumpy. The thing is they're in basically a stretcher where you just pick up one side and the other drags, and it's based on how bumpy the ground is.
Perhaps there's a ground vehicle on the Drake that can be transported down.
Not to
Wait,
mention, if they're injured from the neck pinch, that's like nerve damage to the spine. It's like they could be paralyzed very quickly by.
Right. I'm not
Yeah.
really that
Not
thrilled.
that, not that House is on planet with you, but you hear this in the back of your head, him saying,
Yeah.
you
Well,
could cause massive brain damage,
I did
damage.
grow up with a medical training, so I would know that. So I'm gonna
Oh,
say
well
we're
then
not
fine, fine.
But the choice is paralyzed or dead.
well,
Say-
Unless
The
can we
Drake will
try?
probably see a
Can we try to
clearing.
stabilize them again, or
I was gonna hurt.
You've done
Try to
enough.
nerve pinch him
I
on the
wasn't
other
saying I
side.
was gonna do it.
Okay, so can we get? So I'll ask Sondon, do you have coordinates yet?
Let me roll to see if I do.
Couldn't the Drake also see coordinates?
If Sondon can contacted the Drake,
You can't.
John is so bored.
if he
he's just
chose
itching.
to, if he chose to.
Maybe you should choose to.
Okay.
Well,
You
does
can
he?
spend a
And maybe
momentum
the-
to make Sondon contact the Drake. So you spend a momentum to have Sondon talk to the Drake?
Well, what came of that when I asked about coordinates? Or-
One or the other.
Oh, well, you were already doing the other one. Yeah, having contact the ship, I feel like that makes more sense.
Okay. So he says, Acting Captain Jhon, I got word from the captain on the planet, and they're
Oh,
looking for a patch to land in because they have injured Tellarites at their location.
injured. Are any of the crew injured?
Doesn't seem like it. The commander said that they were okay. So when I last spoke to them, it seemed like they were fine. But it seems like those Tellarites I mentioned earlier had a run in down there, and I guess Commander Arhat had to deal with them.
I see. Okay. Would Lozesh be the one to find the clearing on the planet, or who would be like technically in charge of?
It would technically be somebody at the tactical thing, but we can totally make it. Because Sondon's not there and Arhat's not there, so that's who
And I
would
can
be
do it.
scanning. But let's have
Lozesh.
Lozesh do it, yeah. So it's
All right.
science and reason, Eric. Difficulty 1, and then we'll have we'll have Caleb roll sensors and science for the ship. One D20.
Okay, I got 13. So, do you want me to use the momentum?
It's difficulty 1, so you might be okay. It's up to the rest of them.
Okay, so it's a difficulty 1, and I need a 13 or lower.
Yep.
Yeah.
With 2 dice.
I got 13 and 9.
Okay.
So we got 1 back.
I got a 6 for the ship.
Alright.
So with that, Lozesh finds a clearing that's probably on foot. It's probably like a 30-minute walk from where the last communicate. Well, actually, from where they are standing now, because you have a live tracking of their communicators. So from where they are standing right now, it's about a 30-minute walk to the nearest clearing away from the civilization.
Do we have any kind of ground transport on the Drake?
No, well, the shuttle pod, that would be you like that Sondon's in. You could land that, but that would be about it.
We don't have any like 4-wheelers or anything hanging out in storage.
This is the way I'll put it to you. They use really ridiculous ground vehicles later in Star Trek. So because ATVs are a thing right now, if you spend 2 momentum, I'll let you bring down another shuttle or whatever. I'll let you use a ground like ATV thing.
Perhaps it's one that I work on in my spare time,
There you go.
since I do have a
Like
focus
trucks?
in
Yeah.
ground vehicles.
So I'm having you spend 1
You
momentum.
do?
Yep.
He does.
What?
So,
Really into trucks when I was on Earth.
So
I
I'm
didn't
gonna have you
know
spend
it was even.
one momentum to retroact that there is a ground vehicle on the shuttle, and spend the secondary one to basically be, like to facilitate this scene forward.
We're doing it.
That's what his
Excellent.
antennas do.
They
They
drive
just scan and pick up. Oh, there's a land vehicle right over that way.
Sandin, it seems Lozesh has found the perfect location to pick up the crew and our esteemed unconscious guests. And I also have been working on a little something to assist in the matter. So meet at these coordinates.
Okay. So he makes his way to that clearing. We'll say that do you guys want to sit with these Tellarite guys for a while? Let's say like an hour passes, or do you want to do something?
I assume that we are told that they're coming to us. Right?
Yeah, we can do that. We can fit that all into one.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No.
yes, Jhon and or Sandin, whoever, relay to you, Captain, that the Drake has found a clearing.
Okay.
They're making their way there. It'll take about an hour for them to get to the clearing, and it's about a 30-minute walk to that clearing.
Okay.
You don't know where the clearing is because you just, you don't not familiar with the jungle, so they send you coordinates on your hand scanner for you to have basically a general idea of where it is.
All right. Well, I'm going to make the decision that we just wait here for them to get to us in their ATV.
Okay.
So
It'd be a
Yeah.
Ford F1 15,000
that's right.
because it's in the future.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going
I
to
don't
be a
wanna
very compact ATV is what it's going to
No.
be.
Hey, that's fine.
Galileo
I just don't wanna
250.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
It's not a flying DeLorean.
Yeah, right.
bummer.
Gosh.
I wonder if we should start moving the two stable ones, so that way the ATV only has to deal with the two unstable ones.
I mean, I feel like that, and then what is like,
Well, because an ATV wouldn't be able to carry all four Tellarites, would they?
do we know that information?
So I'm going to
Just
tell you,
stack 'em.
because the shuttle pod is not gigantic, you could get one can get on there easily, two would be uncomfortable.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Just
So it's
pile 'em
like
on.
have the ATV make two trips, or should we start walking with two of the stable ones?
Captain, what do you think?
A
I
30
like how
minute
we have to decide whether or not one's gonna live or not.
30-minute walk is like what, a 10-minute drive maybe?
Yeah, probably. If
Yeah.
that, it's probably like a 5-minute drive.
Yeah. I just don't feel like it's worth it. I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, I'm just gonna stick to my decision of let's just wait here.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay.
so we wait.
So you
We
wait
wait.
for a full hour, and right around an hour. Okay, yeah. So Sandin reaches out to the captain and lets you know that they've landed and that he's soon to get on to the all-terrain vehicle.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent news. So, Sandin.
Except
you-
this terrain.
Do you wish for him to come to your location?
Yes.
Okay. I am now going to roll.
There's clearly a silhouette like logo on the hood of like and like an Andorian face with the it's like silver with a silver like antenna.
It's like an Andorian skull with like the metal antennas.
That's funny.
It's got like flames on the hood.
Are Sova and the doctor still over by the Tellarites, or are we all together?
Yeah, you guys generally sat around in the same area.
Yeah.
I was just checking.
So just to make it more fun, I didn't tell you what I was going to do. So I had a difficulty 2 roll for Sandin because he's peeling through the jungle on an ATV that makes a lot of noise,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
and he succeeded.
Nice.
Oh, good.
So Jahan's extra tuning of it makes it a really nice low sounding motor that's not cascading through the jungle. Oh, to your surprise, Sandin just sort of appears out of the jungle line with this ATV.
Awesome. Love it.
Get in, losers. We're getting phasers.
Oh, what are you guys gonna do with this?
So load up the 2 sick ones first.
Okay.
They're not sick.
I want the 2 sick ones loaded up first.
The,
And
the
then
two
I-
on death's door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can the shuttle initiate a safe transport? If we get them in the shuttle, can we safely transport them from the shuttle to our ship?
If the shuttle goes up into the atmosphere, then yes.
All right. Let's do it. And while the shuttle is doing the atmosphere thing, the ATV will come back for us for the next 2.
Okay. But now the shuttle has landed. I'm just giving you insight. The shuttle has landed. You can make a 30-minute walk to the shuttle
Sure.
with
Okay.
the other 2. You do whatever you want. Just letting you know that.
Because that might be easier while they're flying up to do the. Why don't we walk to the clearing with the?
With the more safer ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's fine. Instead of dragging them though, I'd like one person on each end carrying them.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
So all 4 of us are going to roll fitness con, and Sandin's going to roll the same to go back to the ship.
Fitness con. Difficulty 1.
Yep. So Sandin rolled the same thing, but this time he's loud going back.
He
Okay.
has a lot more weight.
Yeah. So the weight of the 2 extra Tellarites, which really is more the extra weight of the 1 Tellarite, causes the engine to make a lot more noise. And as that happens, you are Sova, see on your hand scanner that you've been monitoring that there is an intensity of the bioluminescent patterns on them, and it seems like they are making their way to this location.
And I warned them. They heard the motor of the vehicle. We should get moving because they're heading this way.
All right, let's move.
Yeah, I succeeded, so I'm fine.
I succeeded too. I got 1.
Okay.
I did too.
You begin your 30-minute journey back with these 2 Tellarites on your stretcher while Sandin burns rubber down to the shuttle pod to beat you there. So he gets to the shuttle pod. The Tellarite comes out. They quickly get the Tellarites back into the shuttle. They set the stretchers to the side and load up the ATV and begin their flight back into the atmosphere. You guys have about more of a 20-minute walk to the clearing. In those 20 minutes, Sandin goes up to the atmosphere and he contacts Acting Captain Jhon. And he says, Acting Captain, he says, we have 2 Tellarites here. The captain has asked us to transport them to the Drake for medical emergency.
Okay, I will alert the doctor and he will get med bay ready.
Okay. All right, everybody. Let's do it. Who wants to go down there? Do you want Clarke to do it again? Who wants to beam him up? I can have a support guy too. It doesn't matter.
What is it? What do you have to roll for to do it?
Engineering control difficulty 3.
I'll grab that one.
Okay, and then somebody can roll sensors engineering for the ship.
All right. How much momentum do we have
4.
currently? All right. Let me spend one of those and get an extra.
Do you want to do it, Mike? Did anybody roll for the ship?
Yeah, I can roll for
No.
the ship.
Let's have Mike do it.
12.
Sova says
No.
absolutely not.
I rolled 2 16s and a 15, so that's 3 successes.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get onto the transporter pad, and House and Mescal are there by the transporter pad, ready to take these two Tellarites to Medbay.
Is House has he recovered from the
Have
car?
him. Okay, Caleb. That's a great question. Caleb, roll you a
No,
D6.
no, it's not because it wears it wears off quick. That would not be a thing.
Yeah, roll.
Nope, no delta.
Okay, so yeah, you're fine. It's burned off. It's not a big issue.
Just making sure.
That's funny.
So you and Mescal bring the two Tellarites to the med bay, and Sandin begins his journey back to the clearing. And we'll just say about 15 minutes later, you guys meet at the clearing just as the shuttle is landing. And you can see Sova on your hand scanner that while you've been journeying into the jungle, they approached where you guys had last been, like where the ATV and the loading up thing had been, but they have not journeyed farther into the jungle. They're not following you, but they did approach to at least where you last had been.
Now I'll let her know, Captain. The group of natives went to where the Tellarites were. So I believe if we do not go back into the jungle at this point, we will be safe.
Roll a d6.
6.
Sova is not okay, Captain.
He's not okay.
You can tell by his by his tone of voice and how he is talking, there is something seriously wrong with him.
Like, I would know. Okay.
Nothing
Right.
physically is wrong. You cannot see anything physically wrong with him on the exterior of his body, like he's cut or bleeding or damaged in any way. You can just tell that he is not himself. Something
Yeah.
is seriously wrong with him.
Okay. So
Mhm.
I pull him. I walk away and I say, Sova.
Yes, Captain.
So we're away from everybody. And I look at you and I say, Silva, I would like to think that I know my crew pretty well. And I can tell that you're not yourself.
I do not know what you are referring to, Captain.
So before Sova says that, roll presence command difficulty 3.
I have to use the momentum.
Jeez.
I got 2 and a complication.
Oh gosh, you don't have a focus or like composure or anything, right?
Nope.
Okay.
He starts
So-
crying like Spock does.
Correct.
Anguish. Pain.
So say what you want to the captain, but you're gonna have a tear go down your cheek.
I do not know what you are referring to, Captain. I am perfectly fine.
So I shift so that the group behind us can't see his face. Not that I think you could see a singular tear that far away anyway, but
Sure.
and then I tentatively put my hand out on his arm and I say, you don't have to lie to me, but you also don't have to tell me everything. I know this is delicate. This isn't human. But when we get back to the ship, I want you to take the day off and meditate and do what you got to do. And if you need me, you know where to find me.
If you feel that is necessary, I do appreciate your concern.
Very good.
Roll a d6, Andrew.
Oh. Lying
And
and
Mike,
appreciation is a human emotion.
roll
2.
a 2. Okay. So when you say that, Captain, it seems like you genuinely you reached him, and that he didn't
Command-
necessarily like ignore what you said.
Insight.
Security insight.
Okay. I have 1 success.
Yeah. So what did I said it was difficulty 1, right?
Yeah.
So what you see is the captain reach her hand out to Sova and touch Sova, and you see Sova he doesn't react like his normal self of like not like kind of stiffening when somebody displays emotions at him. You see him kind of like not like, oh, like, wow, thanks, Captain. You don't see him like embrace her touch, but you definitely don't see him like stiffen or like turn away from it at the same time. That's all you see. You don't see anything else.
Before I walk away, too, I just want to add, like I'll walk away and then I'll turn back and I'll just say, like, I know you didn't mean to hurt them, to kill them. They're not dead. I know you didn't mean to injure them this badly, and we're gonna do everything we can. And then I'll just, I don't wait for a response. I know he doesn't want to chat about it, so I just.
Does the captain walk toward me?
Yeah, I'll go back to the group towards you. Yeah.
I would kind of turn and just quickly say something very quickly to you so that no one else can hear.
Okay.
Captain, I am worried about Sova. Between the actions he's displaying and the action that was displayed back at the alien village.
Roll a d6, Mike.
What?
Okay. Four.
So go ahead. No, go ahead.
Then I would just ask if the captain do you understand, or do I need to expound on what I'm saying?
I'll just say.
Got it.
I'll just say in return to you, the issue has been taken care of.
I don't believe that, but I will take your word for it, Captain.
I think I would just say, and that would be the correct thing to do. And then I would just walk,
Okay, yeah. So what we'll do is, so the 2 unconscious Tellarites get into the shuttle pod, and Sandin defers to you, Captain, and Commander, to who wants to fly the shuttle back to the Drake. Like, what are your orders? And the Golu, the science lab officer, and the professor have taken seats in the shuttle pod, and they're just waiting.
Okay, so Sandin will fly because no point in him not doing that. And we're gonna go back to the colony, and I want me and the professor, and who else did you say? Just that's it. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we still have the 2 unconscious Tellarites.
Yeah. So I want me, the professor, and Arhat back on the colony, and the Sandin to take the rest, the Tellarites, back up to the ship and put them in the brig. And
Okay.
make sure they're okay. Like, give them medical attention, and then put them in the brig.
So you want Sandin to go back to the base, to deposit you and the professor back at the base, and have the rest of you go to the rest of them to go to the Drake.
Yeah, and while I'm in the shuttle, I want to contact Jhon.
Okay. So while the shuttle doors close, I want Sova to roll a d6, and I want Arhat to roll a d6.
2.
5.
Okay, so you, Sova, sit down. You've collected yourself. You're not displaying anything, but you, Arhat, are now starting to have the distinct idea in your mind is percolating that perhaps Sova has been the traitor, the secondary traitor on the ship the whole time.
I'm gonna kill you if that's true.
Unless
So
I get to him first.
Yeah,
so
true.
so you're gonna talk to Jhon?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
I'll say Captain to Jhon.
Captain, so good to hear you call me Captain.
Yes, Captain Jhon.
Are you
I heard-
okay, Captain? Was the crew okay?
We are okay. We had a run-in, and to be honest, it was a bit of a miracle that we got out of it unscathed, but we did, thankfully. So
Yeah.
I'm sending up to you. I understand you already received the 2 of the Tellarites, and I'm sending up to you 2 more.
Oh,
I do want them all medically examined and checked out. And then I
Oh.
want all the brig. I'm going back to the colony, but I will be coming back up to the ship to talk to them soon. Also, Lieutenant Sova, yeah, Lieutenant Sova is relieved of duty for the next 24 hours.
We don't want House to look him over.
You all would enter decon no matter what.
Yes.
All right. So
Has he
yeah,
been-
I'll just leave it at that. And if that shows, I mean, I'll just use that to let the doctor use his best judgment there.
Yeah, because like after what happened, I mean, he would have to be declared fit for duty again.
True.
Has he been
Yeah,
injured,
sure.
Captain?
Protocols.
What did John say?
Oh, has he been injured, Captain? Should we ready a room in medbay for him?
I would like the doctor just to give him a quick once over, but I think he just deserves a break. He fought hard.
Understood. I will let the doctor know.
Thank you.
Let's have you, Caleb, roll medicine control. Roll it twice. Do both will be difficulty 1. Or were you going to say, Adrian?
I was just going to ask Acting Captain if there's any news that he would like to report.
Well, your being unable to communicate with you made us a little nervous here, so we did some digging and we were able to get some communications through from the ship to the planet, so which
Nice.
you're aware of now because of Sondon.
Excellent. Good job.
And
You've done a very good job as acting captain.
it's a lot of responsibility when the responsibility comes, Captain. I do not envy your position or your chair. There is a message for you.
Got to.
I suggest maybe you looking at that once you get back on the ship.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't intend to go
Sure.
through your personal messages, Captain. It's just checking to see if there was any word from you or the crew.
Yeah, no worries. I understand.
All right. What did you get there, Caleb?
So I rolled a 5, which is my medicine number,
Mm-hmm.
and I rolled a 12, which is under
So you got 3 successes
15.
because
I needed
that's
a 15.
diagnostic medicine, right?
Yes.
Did
Yep.
you roll it again?
Yeah. So the one time I got a 5, the second time I got a 12.
Okay, so
We're banking 2 momentum.
yeah.
It was
No,
only
no, no. 1 momentum because they
one.
were both difficulty 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you see on your medical scan with Mescal standing there with you helping is one of the Tellarites, his collarbone has been fractured and broken, and he is in a critical state. Obviously, you can get him into a stable condition in the med bay. It's not an issue of keeping him stable and making sure that he doesn't die. The other one is also he's in a slightly more critical state. It seems like something happened where something punctured the upper part of his rib or of his lungs. You're not 100% sure how that happened. Perhaps maybe something with like a rushed CPR maneuver or something. But his general collarbone and like thing is like crumpled. His upper part of his shoulder is basically like mutilated.
Oh my god.
God.
Rod, don't get on Sova's bad side.
So
Holy
he's also going to be able to be stabilized. He's not in risk of dying, but he is significantly more injured than the others.
Yeah. He'll never hold a phase rifle ever again. Which is that's what he gets for stealing.
Yep, I don't have a single ounce of care.
So you leave. You get word that the shuttle is returning to the Drake, and so you leave Mescal in charge. It's not anything complicated. Nothing. It's pretty straightforward. And you get to the decon like little window, and you see Sandin, Golu, 2 unconscious Tellarites, and Sova get off and enter decon chamber.
Beautiful.
And roll medicine insight, difficulty 2, and we'll have
Okay.
Sova roll a d6.
3.
Do we have a bunch of excess momentum?
We have 3 momentum right now.
I will not use one. I believe in the heart of the dice.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh wow, the heart of the dice, baby. I got a 5 and a 13. I needed 15.
There you go.
Does he have a focus to?
Yeah, do you have a focus in like body language or like reading people?
Well, not necessarily.
So what you see when Sova is carrying one of the Tellarites in on the normal Starfleet stretchers, you see you can tell immediately that like Sova is something is wrong with him, and perhaps it's something he's either having a difficulty containing his emotions, or he perhaps has like some sort of something is affecting him. It's either inward, it's either something external is affecting him or something internal is affecting him.
Yeah.
So where we'll end tonight, because we went over, you, Arhat, and Knightley land outside of the ground base, Valdoria, to go back inside to speak with those in. And Jhon and Lozesh stay at the bridge, and the remaining people like Sova and the other stay in decon while House is going through the decon process.
Or we sit in our underwear and smear weird gels on ourselves.
Yep.
God, on each other, because
Oh, that's true.
Just
Okay.
for that, because I want it to be really good. I want Sova to roll. We're all okay. So Sova, Sandin, and Golu
what?
are all gonna roll d6s.
I got a 1.
Yeah, I didn't get anything. So what House sees as he passes in the decon gel for safety, he watches as Sandin and Golu are politely putting the gel on each other, and he watches as Sova is very awkwardly rubbing the unconscious Tellarites stripped down to their underwear on the stretcher. He is awkwardly
Nice.
rubbing the gel all over their body.
That makes sense.
So yeah, so that's what we'll leave at House, is that you're pretty certain that though you heard reports from the bridge that perhaps Arhat got into a fight with these guys, that these injuries are consistent with Vulcan neck pinches.
Yeah.
And that's where we end it.
All right, I have got to go.
That was
That
fun.
was great.
Yes,
It
it
got
was.
really interesting when you started throwing the random cards in.
Yeah. Yeah, that
I
was
have a-
fun. That was actually really fun.
I have a
Bye,
Pikachu.
guys.
I have a Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Good
everybody have a
night.
I'll see you next time.
Go fish yourself.
Oh, thanks.